Because I have returned from where there was no return, you think I know everything. And you crowd me, bursting with your questions you cannot even formulate. You think that I know all the answers. All I know are facts. Life, death, truth. I returned for truth, for there everything was true. Everything was stamped with truth, immortal truth, clear and sharp without nuance or measure. Pure cruelty, pure horror. Who could bear to face the truth in that cruelty? Close eyes forever or look on wide-eyed, wild-eyed, the only choice, the only chance. The light seared the eyes that dared to seek. So why should I speak? For the things I would say could not be of any use to you.
You want to commit suicide?
Yes, so what?
You have no right to.
Oh, that'll do, Claire. Forget your formulas. Here they aren't worth anything. It's the only right I have left, the only choice, the last free act.
There are no free acts here. No choices like that.
Oh, yes, I have a choice. I have a choice between becoming a cadaver, which will have suffered for only 8 days, which will still be clean enough to look at, and one which will have suffered 15 days, which will be horrible to look at.
You have nothing left. No such choice as nothing. You're not free to do it. You don't have the right to take your
And
life.
why don't I have that right?
A fighter doesn't give up.
Claire, please. Forget your affirmations. Forget your certitudes. None of them fit here. Don't you see that truth has changed? Don't you see that truth is no longer the same?
I'm asking you why you've decided not to fight for your life.
You ask me? Ask those lying rigid in the snow. Ask their faces, which are no longer faces. Ask their limbs, which resemble dead wood. Ask their skin, which is a color no one has ever seen before. Don't you know all a human being can withstand before dying? Don't you believe that it becomes so scrawny, so ugly, so convulsed, so trapped in what remains of skin and flesh you have to have suffered to the limit? A limit no one has reached before us. I don't want to suffer to that limit.
Can't you see further than yourself and your own death? Can't you see?
I see. I'm lucid. I'm logical. I've never been more reasonable.
You don't want to fight?
I'm willing to fight, to try, but with a chance, even a little one, however small, but a chance. And I don't see any. No one will survive. If it's to be death for death's sake, then better right away, before having suffered that suffering you see written on the dead in the snow. Over there in the pile, where the ravens and the rats get together. Those naked, dead bodies entangled in a pile, even on top of those who are still alive who arrived just a week before us. I prefer to die before becoming a corpse as ugly as those. I have no gift for lost courage.
Will you listen to me?
You must wait until my eyes do not see what they see from my ears to listen to you.
My eyes see as well as yours. You're afraid. You're a coward!
Afraid to suffer? Yes. A coward. Another word that's meaningless here.
I'll tell you again that you don't have the right to take your life. You don't have the right because you're not alone. There are the others. And above all, there are the little ones. Denise, Rosie, who isn't even 16, all the little ones whom you taught to recite poetry, whom you had performed in plays before we left, when we had been past them while we waited for the departure. They admired you because you were grown up. They listen to you, they follow you. If you die, they may imitate you. Suppose that among them there is one with the chance to come back. Just one. And that because of you, she loses that chance. Even if you were to die in 15 days and become as tortured a cadaver as those, you have to stand here.
What good will it do? None of us has a chance.
There must be one who returns. You or another, it doesn't matter. Each of us expects to die here. She is ready. She knows her life doesn't matter anymore. Every one of us looks to the others. Would you want millions of people to have been destroyed here, and all those cadavers to remain mute for all eternity? All those lives to have been sacrificed for nothing?
It's exactly that. For nothing. To die here in this place, whose name we don't even know. Perhaps it has no name.
There must be one who comes back who will give it its name. There will be one who will return, and who will talk, and who will tell, and who will make known. Because it is no longer we who are at stake. It's history. Haven't you heard them, the dying, who all say, if you return, you'll tell? Why do they say that? They say that because none of us is alone. Each of us must render an account to all the others.
The others? Other people in other places. To us here, they have lost their reality. Everything has lost its shape, its depth, its sense, its color. All that is left is the amount of time we must suffer before dying.
Yes, the others. The people you know. Your friends. This one or that particular one have lost their reality. But I speak of men. Of the men of the whole world. Those who are now and those who will come afterward. To them you must render an account.
Why me? One more, one less. Choose someone else for your mission.
We arrived 200. 200 women from all provinces, from all classes, who were thrown here into this population of 15,000 women. 15,000 women who are never the same. They die by the hundreds each day. They arrive by the hundreds each day. Of these 15,000 women from all the countries, from all the languages of Europe, how many will survive? 15,000 women, more or less. 200 women, more or less. What difference does it make? You, me, no one matters. They will only matter if there's one who returns.
It won't be me.
Don't you really want to understand anything? Even if you hold out for only 15 days.
I don't hold out for 15 days because I don't believe it matters. I prefer to skip those 15 days.
I'm ready to hold out for as long as it takes. Who knows the future? Something may happen which could change all the calculations.
The Allies will drop from the skies suddenly, tear out the barbed wire, pull down the watchtowers, and we'll be free. Do you believe in miracles?
Whatever way we get out of here, getting out of here will be a miracle.
You have to believe in miracles. My father used to say that in all battles, in all shipwrecks, there's always one survivor.
Is it a rule? No rules stand here. I know that we will win, but the war will last another 2 years, and I won't last 2 months.
You'll
Until we came here, I believed that a man, a woman, could be stripped of everything, could lose everything, but could still keep her pride. When I joined my resistance group, I thought of torture. I thought of it a lot, so as not to get caught unaware, to get used to resisting it. And I acquired a certain strength, the certainty of resisting torture. Before, I was afraid. I was especially afraid of myself, afraid of weakness. That is why, until we came here, I believed that nothing could strip a human being of his pride. Nothing. Except the dysentery. You can no longer look at yourself as you gradually dissolve, turning into dirty water. When diarrhea is dripping from you night and day without being able to do anything to stop it, to hide yourself, to wash. My strength is ebbing. It flows right here, right now, as I stand still, because if I move, it will be worse. I am turning into dirty water. My strength and my will are going. I am emptying. It is normal for life to expire through the lips, in the last breath, for it to go through the intestines. That is complete humiliation.
We've been here for 8 days. We've already lost 10 of our group.
What did they die from so quickly?
What their eyes saw made their hearts burst.
It was the old ones. You're young. You too, Yvonne.
Death will be coming more and more quickly. There are some who no longer have the strength to stand on their own feet. Every morning at roll call, they fall. We help them stand up again today. Tomorrow, we won't have the strength to help them.
See, Claire, I'm not rambling.
Since you've decided to die, a little sooner or a little later doesn't matter. Make it a little later, for the sake of the one who has to return.
Claire is right. If there is only one chance to get out of here, and for only one of us, we must force that chance and help the one among us who will have it. There must be one who returns.
My name is Marie. I'm 16. I'm all alone now.
Did you arrive all alone?
No, with my parents. My father, my mother, my grandmother, and the little ones. My little brother and my little sister. In a big transport.
You haven't been here very long.
Oh yes, 10 days. It was a big transport. Almost the whole train went to the gas. There were many old men and many children. My parents weren't old, but they didn't want to leave grandmother and the little ones. Me, I wanted to stay in the same column. They said it was a column for the health camp, a special camp for the aged and for the children. An officer took me out and put me in the other column, a very small column. The only person I knew was a girl of my own age who traveled in the same freight car. Her parents had been taken too, so we stayed together until this morning.
You can stay with Denise and her sisters. They have a box at the end with 5 other little ones. They'll make room for you. You're not very big.
She was beautiful, my little sister. You can't imagine how beautiful she was. They couldn't have looked at her. If they had looked at her, they wouldn't have killed her. They wouldn't have been able to.
There are only 2 options, life or death. It's simple. There's only one penalty, death. Death if you break rank, death if you drag your feet, death if you don't run fast enough, death if you don't understand an order or an insult, death if you can't stand still for 5 hours in the cold, in the night. Death if you catch cold. Catch cold. What an expression. Funny, isn't it? We are in the cold. We are cold, blocks of cold. Before we didn't know what cold was. Yet in the freight cars it was cold. The bread froze, we couldn't eat. Here, blades, needles of cold pierce you straight through. Jaws of cold crush you. Cold contracts with the fibers of your flesh, even those of the tongue, even those of the heart. Cold feet is nothing. Cold in the heart, cold in the veins, cold drafts in the lungs, as if they were hanging in the wind naked. A thorn of cold stuck in every vertebra. It's as if the cold peels you and strips you inside of you. Here you don't wait for death. You expect it. Why struggle?
It's what I wonder. Why do we still want to live? It seems that it's not I that makes the decisions anymore. It must be which is still alive, wants to keep on living for no reason.
Always the only question. Life or death.
When we entered the camp, when we passed through the gates and saw all the naked cadavers on the snow, we tried to walk around, to sidestep the cadavers. And they came with their sticks to make us walk straight. I had never seen a dead body. And you? Had you ever seen any?
No. For me too, they were the first.
Remember how we jumped over them running? I tried not to look only where I was putting my feet. If at that moment they had said, "This way to be shot," we would have not walked. We would have run. And now that all we have to do is let ourselves fall down in the snow, we're clinging to life. I think the way you do, Francois, and if it were for nothing...
You must make a bet with yourself, Monet.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, right now.
Claire convinced you?
No, you did. You would have preferred to have been shot when you arrived, and now you want to live. I won't leave you. Claire left her place. I don't see her.
Sylvie broke ranks to use the ditch. A capo with a stick started beating her, and Claire ran to pull Sylvie away from her to bring her back to the road. The capo left Sylvie and turned on Claire. She's striking her on the head, on the chest, on the eyes. Oh, Claire's furious. She's giving it back to the capo blow for blow with her fists, with her feet. The other one won't stop either. I can't believe Claire is so strong. There's another one coming. The two Furies are trampling her. They're hitting her head over and over.
What's going on, Claire?
Dear Father, do not let me become evil in this place.
Claire died for me. The two Furies wouldn't have left me alive. Claire had to burn their blows.
All those who die for others. If the group is large enough, some will be left, but the number keeps diminishing. The screen the others form between death and each of us tears more each day. And soon there will be nothing between us and death. And soon it will be our turn. My turn. You're strong, Gina. You'll return.
You too, Francois. You're stronger than you think.
I will return. I swear I will.
Francois, hear me well, Francois. If I do not return, you'll tell my father that at no time did I give in. At no moment. I'll never give in.
You'll never give in. I wish I could say that.
You can't give them the things they want. By deciding that you will return, you are defying them. We must not let them triumph over our corpses. They will have many of them, but they must not have all. Those who return will have one. I don't like to lose. I'll win.
You'll win what?
It doesn't matter what. We're in a battle. It's a hand-to-hand combat, and you don't want the enemy to win.
You'll return, Gina.
I'd like to be sure of it. I want to talk myself into it. If you stop believing in your return, you're lost. I believe in it in spite of everything. But swear to me, if you return without me, you'll tell my father the truth. Don't hide anything. You'll have to tell the truth, even to the mothers.
Would you be able to tell Claire's mother how she died?
I will do it. I will do it because it has to be done. Because it is in order that the truth be known that we want to return. We will have had the strength to live it. Why would others not have the strength to hear it?
I wonder if we'll have the strength to tell it. And they won't believe us. They'll think that since we have returned, it was not as terrible as we say. By returning, we deny our own story. What is it? Do you hear?
Who is it? One who can't take it anymore. Another one. How many of us will remain?
None. It's not possible.
You're not sleeping yet?
We're going right to sleep. The nights are so short and we waste them chatting.
Talking is as important as sleeping. If I did not talk, it would seem to me as if I were no longer alive.
We make plans too. If I return, I'll open a tea shop. The cakes will be exquisite, especially being Claire's. And I'll make a chocolate that will be the sensation of Paris. Paris has never known one like it. Creamy, thick, with a touch of coffee. Have you ever tried coffee-flavored chocolate? You make a very strong coffee, a real coffee extract, and you put a drop in the chocolate. It's delicious.
With chocolate, I like toast. Very crunchy and crusty. In the middle, it's soft, soaked in warm butter. You think someone's dying?
Who's dying?
When we heard they were in Paris, my husband went to get cement and bricks for my brothers. He's a builder at St. Martin. It's a mile away, so we had to take the cart. I was in the garden. I was gathering chives for our salad when I saw him come back, put the cart away, start mixing the cement. What are you doing? Bricklaying at this hour? It's almost lunchtime. Pay no attention, he answered. He went down to the cellar with his hod. He came back up for a quick snack and sent me to call our nephew, help him carry the bricks down. In the evening, my student came back up with a bottle. I've chose one of the best. It's the last we will drink until the end of the war. We invited our neighbors. It's our own white wine. We have a little vineyard not far from our house. There are years for which it is famous. Train wine is not for the Prussians to drink. My husband had walled up the cellar. Lovely work he did, really. You would not suspect anything. He even made water stains. Meanwhile, we returned to drink it.
Never.
How can you say that, Elizabeth?
Look at my legs. I press down, and the indentations remain all white. With swollen legs, I've got only 3 days left to go.
Are mine? Are they swollen? Did you hear? What is it?
A prisoner going toward the electric barbed wire to end it. A guard shot before she could touch it. With spotlights covering the camp, the guards always see them first. Attempted escape, they say.
afraid to sleep because I'm afraid to dream. Night is more frightening than day because at night, as soon as I fall asleep, I'm alone. During the day, I talk. Gina, or Francois, or someone answers. At night in my dreams, no one answers. I'm always alone, and I'm afraid. While falling asleep, I already know what I will dream. I'm afraid. If I carried bricks during the day, I carry bricks, and they are colder against my breast, heavier to my hands than during the day. Frozen bricks. In our house, Mother used to give us a warm brick in winter to heat our bed. I burnt my sheet once. There was a smell of burning in the bed, and Mother scolded me. At night, the bricks are covered in ice. Ice which cuts even more deeply than during the day. And the skin on the inside of my hands is burnt by the ice. I still carry bricks on an interminable road, and the bricks are heavier and heavier, colder and colder. During the day while carrying bricks, we chat. Gina tells about the great restaurants where she used to eat, their husband and her friends. She would put on a dinner dress, black, with just one jewel. She must have been elegant, Gina. She must have been beautiful, all dressed up with her hair done. Francois tells about her trips. At night, there are just the bricks. And when it's not the bricks, it's the dogs. I try to make detours. I cheat. I figure out how to get away from the dogs, but they leap far and in one single jump cover the entire distance I've succeeded in putting between them and me. They throw themselves on me. They're enormous dogs, and I feel their warm and repugnant breath. They're panting on my cheek. I'm petrified with fear. It's impossible to escape those dirty beasts. Their breath on my cheek is so strong that it awakens me. And then I understand that it's the breathing of Renee or Agnes who sleep next to me. I reassure myself and tell myself that I have to go back to sleep. Otherwise, I won't make it through the next day. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid that this time, it will be the mud. The black mud. Sticky and icy when the ice melts as the day progresses. A lake of mire that extends as far as the other end of the horizon. I swirl in the mud. I go in deeper and deeper and can't get hold anywhere. There's nothing to hold on to. I'm afraid to have it in my mouth. I want to cry out for help, but I hold myself back. I close my mouth tightly because the mud is level with my lips. I'm too scared. I scream. The mud goes down my throat, through my mouth and my nostrils, fills my stomach with the stinking gurgling, and suffocates me. Probably, I really screamed. My neighbor shakes me awake. The most atrocious dream is the one when I come home. I come in through the kitchen. My mother is doing dishes, or she's ironing. I come close. Mother, it's me. You see I've come back. Oh, Mother, I was so afraid I wouldn't come back, but it's true. This time it's true. continues her washing or her ironing. She doesn't hear me. Mother, it's me, your Monet. If you only knew, Mother, how many times I dreamt I was coming back. But this time it's true. It's true because I'm touching you. I'm touching your hand. I feel warm and sweet all over. And then I'll wake with Renee or Agnes's hand in mine. It's the dream that frightens me most. At night, you're afraid. In the morning, you want to die.
Did you hear that shot during the night? Now I understand. For me, it's not worth the trouble anymore. My legs are more swollen than yesterday.
Look, it's Bertha. Her sister died during the night. Didn't you hear? She groaned almost all night. But then she was quiet, and Bertha held her tight to keep her in cold too fast. This morning, we had to pull apart our arms to take Dee away. Now Bertha is carrying Dee outside. She's laying her down along the wall of the barracks. The snow is clean there, thick, soft, and almost gentle. Go help her, Agnes. Take her in as she comes to roll call. She won't want to leave Dee.
Make a place in the middle for Bertha. She's frozen.
No! Leave me alone. Let me die of the cold. Dee is much colder than I. She is cold forever. She's in the snow forever. No. They're going to take her away and put her on the pile. Oh, Dee, my little one. Don't think about it, Bertha. Don't think about it like that. Think about how she was before. How am I to go back with that Dee? How do you want me to do it? My father will never understand.
Yes, he will. He'll understand as long as you yourself return. We'll all go with you to tell him. Let him at least find one of you again.
Dee was my little sister. She was my daughter, my child. I brought her up. I was the big sister, a little mother. I brought her up. I was 10 when her mother died giving birth to her. She wanted to return with all her heart. She cheered me up when I weakened. If only you knew how cheerful she was. You've been in prison before we left. And last night, she said to me, "Don't leave me, Bertha. I need to know you're next to me. Put your hand over my heart. Do you feel it beating?" "Yes, Dee. I feel it beating. It's beating strongly." And then, she didn't speak anymore. Her mouth was all dried up. She couldn't swallow. Her throat was so swollen. I passed my wet fingers over her lips. And during the night, I felt her lips grow cold. And now I've left her. Cry, Berthine. Try to cry. The dead here should not be deprived of our tears. Cry, even if the tears freeze on your cheeks and you do not taste their salt. Cry, it'll help pull yourself together. You must help us now. We need you.
No one needs me anymore.
Yes, we do now. Your father will later.
What will I tell my father? Here I am, that Dee Dee stayed behind. She was taken for a work team. She spent the whole day under the hell of melting snow. She was soaked. Her dress never dried again. I couldn't change dresses with her. Mine was soaked too. She had a fever for 3 days. I knew what she had. I heard it whistling in her chest. I had nothing to care for her with. My arm to make her walk to work is about everything. To make her stand is about everything at roll call. She had a fever for 3 days. And she's dead. Pneumonia. Why her? Why her and not me? She won't leave me, Nazu. My little darling, I won't let you leave me.
No, Renee, we'll never leave each other. We came together, we'll return together.
Be brave, Berthine.
How am I to live with that Dee Dee after I abandoned her in the snow in the night?
Hold on, Bertha. Hold on for another hour, another minute. 1 minute at a time. Don't give up.
That's why the days are so long here. All these minutes, one by one. These minutes, one after the other. Have you ever observed a moment of silence in a ceremony? A minute is long. First, you think of the person you are honoring. Then you think of lots of things. I have to buy nail polish. I have to go to the bookstore. My order must be ready. I have to call Susie. And when the chairman looks at his watch and you sit back down again, you are as relieved as if you have been standing for a long time. Here, each day is broken down into all its minutes. And during each of these minutes, we have to be on the alert without any respite to sidestep a blow and not fall, to force ourselves to move our toes in our clogs or they'll freeze, to keep our head, to keep our memory. I'm afraid to lose my memory, my certainty that I am still myself. We must stay on the alert, to remain conscious of ourselves and order our hearts to keep beating. My heart no longer obeys my command. Dysentery also drains the blood. If only there were a little water to wash. I tried with snow, but snow isn't good for washing, and it's icy on the belly. I gave up trying. I don't care anymore.
What don't you care about, Yvonne?
Whether it is over for me now, this morning, right away.
Right away, no one would have time to care. But since it isn't right away, you have to hold on. And what of the others? Look at Bertha. She's more unhappy than any of us.
She'll force herself to overcome her pain because she has courage, and she'll suffer longer for it.
You're exhausted, Yvonne. Don't talk anymore. With daybreak, you'll find yourself again.
Finding yourself. It's an illusion, a trick. I need not find myself because I am not lost. It is only my body that is losing life. It is as if I have become myself and another at the same time. Another who is detached, clairvoyant, gifted with a sharpened sense of observation, who looks at the first me who is disappearing. I look at my body disappearing and I don't care. I only wish it didn't take so long. I only hope that when I'm a little more worn out, my mind will grow dark and I won't have to see myself anymore.
You're logical, Yvonne. It's frightening how logical you are. No one can answer you back.
You have to pray for her. Oh, Mother, do you think God hears our prayers even from here?
Yes, my daughter, God hears everything, especially the call of those who are suffering.
Don't try to slip through my fingers, little one. I'll hold you tight. Marie, 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 do you hear me?
Yes, Mother, I hear you.
Then come back. Don't let yourself fall into the snow. It's cold.
No, the snow is soft. It's like a great coat. I'm so cold. Let me lie down.
No, stand up. Up. Day's breaking. You see? The sky is becoming light. Look at the sky. And those great red patches, they're starting to set the sky on fire.
It's colder than it was just a little while ago.
One day more. It lights up faces. I can distinguish one from the other. There's some I cannot recognize. They have changed during the night, wearing the look of death. Oh, Yvonne. Death touched her during the night. Yvonne! Yvonne!
I won't last the day.
Make a place for me in the front. I want to see.
What is there to see?
As soon as day breaks, they take the dead out of sick bay and carry them to the morgue behind block 25. That's where they file them up and wait for the truck to the crematorium. I want to see if they carry out my mother. She went to the sick bay the other day.
What will it do for you to see her pass?
Don't be so hard, Granny.
I have to see her pass and know the date of her death. What date is today?
The 20th. It's the 20th of February.
You won't be able to recognize her under the little cover.
Her legs stick out. Mother had deformed feet. I will recognize her feet.
There's the funeral procession advancing. The funeral for those who died during the night. On little stretchers, of poorly attached branches too short for the bodies, with the blankets that cover the middle in shreds. The legs stick out between the front handles. The shaved heads hang between the back handles. You don't see the faces, upside down, rattling between the ends of the branches. The legs are enough. Skeleton legs. Every morning I wish for death, but when I see the little stretchers passing, I don't want it anymore. I don't want to go out that way, with my head hanging and my legs dangling.
Today it's them, tomorrow us.
There's a lot of them today, young ones.
How can you tell?
By their tender feet. They didn't last very long here. The skin on their feet is still soft.
I'd rather die outside than the sick bay. No, not the sick bay. Better standing up.
I prefer lying down. After roll call, I'll join the column for the sick. I can't stand up any longer.
Stay with us, Yvonne. Stay another day. Maybe tomorrow you'll be better.
It's not worth the trouble. I know what lies ahead.
My God, grant that this day does not separate my Helene and me. Grant us that we both live through it.
Stand your own way, pass, Marie.
It wasn't too long today.
Monday they rush it. They're hungover on Mondays.
Today's not Monday. It's Wednesday.
No, it's Monday.
I'd love to have a hangover. Just have every hair on my head hurt. If we had hair, we'd feel less cold. It's the temples that ache. It feels as if my head were caught in a big nutcracker and my skull was splitting apart.
They're calling for the sick bay. Goodbye, everybody.
Let me go, Renee.
Stay here, Marie. You hear me? You want to come with us? You will stay with us.
I can't take it anymore. If I could just lie down, I think my strength would come back.
Strength doesn't come back when you're lying down. On the contrary, the bed weakens you, especially that bed. Strength is in your mind. Be strong, Marie. You have to return too.
No one is waiting for me. I'll have no one at home anymore. Please let me go.
Let her go, Renee. They were supposed to come out of sick bay.
They come out feet first. Mind your own business, Monet. Don't you know in the sick bay you catch all kinds of diseases? We're the dying ones, the delirious ones, the ones that are burning up one day and frozen the next. Marie can still hold out. Can't you, Marie? Maybe tomorrow will thaw a bit.
And me? You would prevent me from going to the sick bay?
Think of your mother, Monet.
I don't see my mother anymore. Last night, I dreamt that I returned home, and that my mother didn't look at me. Or rather, I didn't recognize her face.
Our mother's too must have changed since we left, since they don't know where we are.
It's not that I didn't recognize her face. It's more like I didn't see it. I did see a shape. I knew it was my mother. I squinted. I wanted to see her face. I tried until my eyelids ached. My mother's face is disappearing.
Our mother's face doesn't disappear ever. And since when are you upset by a dream?
I've lost my mother's face.
Stop saying stupid things, Monet. Take your place. The lines are moving. Get a hold of yourself, Monet. You had more spirit before. You were supporting your bond, and now you're letting yourself go.
Your bond was
It's a
courageous.
bad dream the day will erase. Look at the daybreak, Monet.
Another day. One more day. A day is so long, especially when you're not sure to see it through.
We've made it to the end of the other so far.
My strength decreases with each new dawn. Until now, I was sure to see my mother's face again. Since last night, I know I won't ever see her again.
It would be much worse if you could see your mother. If she were here with you. Look at Helene, who's with her mother. Each one suffers doubly, for herself and for the other. And for the mother, it's worship because the mother always thinks she protects her child. And here, she can't do anything. She sees her daughter being beaten, and she lowers her head. And for the daughter, see her mother being beaten, tattooed, naked, shaved, and dirty? And then one soon thinks she is a burden to the other. And look at Sylvia, who really lost her mother, and who is looking for her among the dead who's being dangled from the little stretchers. And next to them, you're lucky. Think of your mother to give you courage, Monet, to give you confidence. Think of her in real life, not the hallucinations of the night. I think of my son. He is at his grandmother's.
How old is he?
6. He's been going to school since the fall. My mother-in-law told me in the last letter I received before we left the prison. When I see the children arrive here to go into the gas chambers.
Or to be thrown alive into the fire.
What are you talking about, Elizabeth?
They came upon the idea to make more room in the gas chambers. They put the children aside and throw them into an enormous ditch filled with branches and set fire to it. Children don't struggle.
How do you know that?
Yesterday, I talked with a girl on the children's commando. They all wear white kerchiefs on their heads. They're cleanly dressed. They're called the white kerchiefs.
Keep your news to yourself, Elizabeth. Don't you think we know enough?
But Gina, we must know everything.
When I see the children arrive here to go into the gas chambers, I tell myself, I can never love my son enough. I have to love him for all the little ones here.
Don't get soft, Agnes. It hurts. This time we're moving.
Who is it? Is she from our group? Isn't it Lori?
I just came from the sick bay. I left because the nurse said to get out no matter what. There must be a selection for the gas chamber.
Oh, Yvonne!
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with her? She can't walk. Lori, what are we gonna do? Lori, Lori, Lori! Lori's dead.
We have to leave her. I think it's to the left we're going today. They had people in demolition work. So much the better. People being inside of this soup. Stand up straight, Marie. If we find a little dry corner, just sit down here in the let's Francois and take us to
I didn't take them to the theater. I couldn't talk. It was too cold in that lifeless expanse of snow where we stayed all day. After we went through the gate, they made us form squares in the big field opposite. The snow was hard, a crust of ice. Gina said, "It's not snow for skiing." That's all she said. There was a wind blowing in the plain. We stood motionless in the wind, in the cold, until the lights dimmed. Several of us fell. Elizabeth, how could she have stood on her legs that kept on swelling even as we watched? We left them on the dirty snow. Marie, Renee couldn't force her to breathe. The air clawed at our lungs. When they blew the whistle for us to get back into formation and return to camp, they commanded us to run. The extraordinary thing was that we ran. We were stiff to the point where we couldn't bend either our knees or our ankles. I'm still wondering how. As we went through the gate, they made us run through double rows of monsters in furies, all armed with sticks, whips, and canes, who beat, whipped, and thrashed all who passed through. The blows rained from all sides. Those who didn't run fast enough, who stumbled, who lost their heads and didn't know in what direction to run, were seized by the collars of their dresses and pulled aside. They were thrown into Block 25. 14 of us were taken that day. Helene's mother was among them. Rennie, who tried to drag her away, she lasted a long time. Helene didn't. They both died of typhus. When Monet died, Monet, for whom I stayed, Monet, whom I would have carried until the return because her life was so promising that it broke my heart to see such a waste. When Monet died, I was violently tempted again to give up, but Denise was alone. There was hardly any among those who could still stand who could have helped her. I stayed for her. And maybe also because after having lasted for weeks, I didn't want to lose my investment. And now, how many are left? Can we act a play where the characters die before you've had time to know them? I didn't have time to know them either.
We've been here for 70 days, more than 2 months. At the beginning, we would never thought it possible to last so a long time. Now we is Gina, Francois, and myself. My sister is dead. The others are dead. All of them. All the others. Dead before our eyes. Like Renee, who fell one morning in the swamp. How did she manage to walk there that morning? She didn't know what she was doing anymore, where she was, or who she was. It was because when she arrived, she made such a strong vow to hold out at any price, at any cost, that she held her will until she fell. None of us could come close enough to her to touch her hand. She stayed there till night. At night, she was carried back to the camp,
4 of our group carried her, each taking a limb. And with every step, they wondered how they would make it back to the camp. It was probably the only time they looked forward to seeing the watchtowers and the forks of the road. The only time they were encouraged when they smelled the odor of the camp. Extraordinary how that odor spread. It's an odor that I didn't know a lot of things, like how cadavers are soft and difficult to manipulate long after death. She was heavy, so heavy, with nothing left at the end of her life, emaciated in a way that we had never seen before. Those who carried her were at the end of their life too. Regine was bitten by a dog. She wanted to break ranks and gather dandelions on the edge of the road one morning. We gather dandelions each time we can. We tear the leaves into tiny pieces and mix it in our soup. It is for vitamins. Since we've been eating it, we don't get scurvy anymore. She was on the outside row, already bent over, preparing herself to leave the row. She didn't look around carefully enough. The dog jumped her and put his fangs around her throat. She let out a cry. A single, brief cry. The dog dragged her this way by the throat, then dropped her once because it was tired and took her back up. That time, she didn't cry. Then someone said, "She's not breathing anymore." Suddenly, the camp was motionless and silent. The screaming of the guards didn't even break that silence. It was unbearable. We couldn't keep our eyes off her throat, and we were saying over and over, "Don't look!" We were almost all used to looking far away since we'd been at the camp. Those of us who remained. Far away into space, of course, in time, not 70 days. We kept a count of the days for us not to feel a break in time from what we were before to what we have become. It has happened that we discussed a whole day imagining that we had made a mistake in the count. But there's no mistake. 70 days. And now it's spring. The spring of this place is not shown by the change on the leaves on the trees. There are none at the camp. The snow has melted and the mud has replaced it. The mud is dirtier, it is colder. We lose our clogs in it and have to go in with both hands to get them out. Mud retains an odor. Smell of dysentery. With the coming of spring, it is less cold. At night when we go out for roll call, we stand for hours. I say hours because they are real hours. From 3 in the morning to 7 in the morning. Those are real hours, standing, motionless, with the wind lashing us, or the icy rain pelting us. The nights in April are cold, particularly at daybreak. The mud has changed to dust. The same feet going over the same spot, the same roll call square, stirs up a cloud of dust, and not a blade of grass shows at the camp. Nothing. But at least you can sit in the dust. Spring's also brought to the swamps so that we don't carry clods of frozen earth, we carry wet earth. It is less difficult to dig up, but heavier to carry. Spring thawed the ditches, and at noon, during our break, we can wash ourselves in them. It's the only water we have. You mustn't drink it. It smells rotten. Some did try to drink it, but they're dead now. They would have died in any case. Once, I wanted to stop my sister from drinking it. There are those who died of thirst, like Bertha. Her lips are all chapped. She couldn't talk anymore. She had no saliva left in her mouth. She lasted a long time. She must have been so afraid. Her eyes had grown bigger than her face. I don't know when or where she died, or if anyone was near her. There are those who were taken in the great race, the day of the great roll call in the field of snow, and who died in block 25. There are those who died of typhus. That's the best death here. You're delirious almost immediately and soon fall into a coma. But the others, all the others, they died of the life here. Why them and not me? Impossible to know, for I was neither among the strongest nor the bravest. How many of us will remain? How long will we stay together? The three of us? 3 is very few, not even a row. In the beginning, when we were still many, the camp seemed less hostile. Day and night we heard our own speech. Now our very language has vanished. We 3 that remain, we went 2 months. We 3 that remain, we speak constantly. To your own voice, to your words we understand, and perhaps to make ourselves believe that we are still many. We cannot deceive ourselves here. At night you have nightmares. During the day there's no place to take refuge. We cannot escape into the imaginary. To think of other things is impossible. Impossible to live as if it were not you that were there. They will also ask, when did they die? I don't know. All the days are the same. My sister died in the sick bay. She decided to go when the boils on her legs became infected. We didn't have a piece of rag, a drop of water. The swamps are still iced over. We 3 that remain, we went 2 months without washing anything, not even our fingertips. At night, after roll call, I sometimes succeeded in slipping over to the sick bay. But when I told Gina that a rat had eaten Monique's ear, and Monique wasn't even dead yet, Gina forbade me to go back. You think that she went quickly? Last time I saw her, she could even raise her hand to place it in mine.
Stop taking roll call of the dead. You have to defend yourself against those who have died. You must wait till we're back home to remember.
Do you think that each day I can wait for another tomorrow without thinking once of my sister?
You have to, or give up any hope of living.
You have become hard, Gina.
Hard? I'll have to keep being that way for a long time.
How will we live afterwards? We come back so hardened.
I tell myself that if I could cry on my mother's shoulder, tenderness and weakness and pity would come back to me.
You have a mother? Me, my father.
If we come back, I'll share my mother with you.
All our sentences start with if we come back.
We must say when we come back.
What will we do when we come back? There are days when I see myself coming back, but I can't see beyond that. I can't see myself getting back into the routines of before.
It would be easy if we found what we left. If we could just take up where we left off. Like after having come home from a long trip. But my home will be missing my husband. No, I don't know what I'll do.
I can't see myself for the rest of my life without my husband.
For me, it's as if I never lived before my marriage. Everything begins with honoring. But here, we never evoke anything but our childhood. I never think of honoring. And you, Paul?
No, never. It's because it's too painful to remember love and happiness here, and to know we'll never be found again. We think only of our childhood years which are past, when everything was simple and unshadowed. It isn't the order of things that they should pass. I think of my mother.
So do I. And I even forget that she's dead. She died last summer. Last summer. We could say a century ago, a world ago, a life ago.
You, Denise, you'll take up again quickly. You'll see. Your life hasn't even started yet. When you return, you'll begin life.
Life will be much harder for me than for you. You learned how to live. I was going to school, and I won't be able to go back. I know too many things to go back to studying. I'll be old next to the other schoolgirls, and I'll miss what I haven't learned in school for the rest of my life.
You can study in other ways. There are books. But I say that the way people say things without weighing what they say. Will we be able to get interested in stories and books? We'll have to learn to live life all over again if we come back.
When we come back.
You know, Francois, I tell myself often, if I come back, when I come back, I'll read all the books that Francois told me about. But reading books isn't enough. You also have to do something in life, to have a career, to earn a living. Earn a living. It's strange to say that here. I don't know what I'll do, what I can do. I have no idea. I envy you. At the worst moments, when all our comrades were falling, when several fell every day, I envied you, Gina and Francois. If they die now, I thought, they will have lived. They will have had something. And I will have nothing.
When you return, you'll start to live. Whereas we'll have trouble starting anew.
And everything we've learned since,
Do you think what we've learned here is useful in life?
everything a person learns in life is useful.
You think so, Gina? What use is it in knowing how to read death sitting on a face the very minute it tints the eyelids purple? In life, those who are dying are in a hospital or at home in a room with little bottles on the night table, flowers. What use is it ever to read truth in a face? In life, who needs to see through people, to know in a split second if they'll share their bread or help others to walk? This is a gift we have acquired here, which we'll have to get rid of because it will be too terrible to see everything in that light. Here, everything is true, without shadows, in a hard way. The executioners are executioners. They have the costumes, the marks, the traits. They don't try to conceal it, to pass for human beings. They are executioners without hypocrisy. They never try to flatter. They never try to fake a smile. They don't see us, even though we see them and how different they are from us. The victims are victims. Brutalized, defeated, humiliated, disgusting, life-ridden. We have seen side by side the worst cruelty and the greatest beauty. I mean, those who practically carried me in their arms when I couldn't walk. Those who gave me their tea when I was choking of thirst, when my tongue was like a piece of rough wood in my mouth. Those who touched my hand and managed to form a smile when I was desperate. Those who picked me up when I fell in the mud, but they were so weak themselves. Those who took my feet at night when we were going to sleep, and who blew on them when I felt they had began to freeze. They all died for me. Nobody dies for anyone else in life.
Life will be much harder for us afterwards. We've gotten into the habit of showing our naked faces. Can you go without a mask in life? Can you take the mask off others? They'll be afraid of us. Then what will we say to them, who will never understand that we are unlike anyone else?
We'll explain, and no one will understand. We'll never be able to make them see what we have seen. We'll bore people the way those from the First World War bored us.
That's because there was nothing else in their lives except the moment when they were at one with history. It's not so for us. When we come back, we won't live without knowing why. We will have fought just to come back, just to survive.
You'll forget all that was, all that we saw.
It's an incommunicable knowledge, as Francois said, useless.
We should say we are lucky to have lasted this long. We won't leave our dead comrades behind. We'll take them away with us, in us.
You mean we won't ever forget them? There are those whose name I didn't even know.
Even without us. We'll restore them with a look, a gesture, maybe in our dreams.
If I have to return to relive all of this in my dreams, oh no.
Don't be afraid, Denise. Dreams fade.
I'll touch my sheets, fine and crispy, my nightgown. I'll caress my sheets and I'll know that I'm dreaming.
You've had so many things in your life.
You'll have them too, Denise. You'll see. Just to get undressed, to go to sleep in a bed with sheets, with slippers for when you get out of bed. That alone.
70 days during which we haven't taken our dresses off. They must stink, but we don't notice because our nostrils are filled with the smell of crematorium. If we could smell
Perfume. It's so nice. It's something that you can touch and that you don't touch. Opaque and transparent. Real and unreal. I love perfume.
you see, you'll be able to live again.
What does that one want with us? It looks as though she's calling for us. Me? The three of us? She's signaling you, Gina. What could she want with Gina? Do you know her, the big capo?
By sight, it's the capo of the white kerchiefs.
What did she want?
Oh, nothing. Just asking us some Linda, a French girl, a little later.
It was almost nice today. When we were taking a little walk, Denise and I was thinking that a night like this, a spring evening, would be marvelous for a walk in the park. Green lawns, maybe tulips. The chestnut trees must be in bloom now in Paris.
From my window, I used to see the Chamont. I think it was the most beautiful park in all Paris.
I don't know the place. I'd go to Luxembourg, sit on a bench with a book, and the noise of the water in the basin of the fountain.
At home, we used to walk on the mall. It's a big street with green walks under the plane trees. They're very tall. They're very beautiful, especially in spring when the leaves are like fine lace. We have privileges now that we've been here for so long. 2 inches of hair gets us as much respect as a venerable beard. We have a bunk for the 3 of us, and no one dares bother us. Maybe it's also because we have become shrewd. We know how to escape from the disinfectant and the clippers. Do you remember the last time when we stood naked outside from morning roll call till evening roll call? How cold it was? And they gave us back our dresses all wet and the lice were still in them? And it was Renee who said, "Cabbage soup, margarine, or naked women. I don't want to see any more of them for the rest of my life." She was funny, Renee. That day, we had less hope of getting out of here than today.
Spring. Without the taste of spring, how I'd like to have a taste in my mouth.
After roll call, I saw a Russian woman who works in the garden. She was selling onions. 2 onions for the ration of bread. I had already exchanged my ration of bread for a pair of underpants, the way you told me. If I had known, I would have waited until tomorrow for the underpants.
How I'd like to bite into an onion. But when I think of a taste, something good, really good, a fruit.
A fish. Gina, give us your recipe for stolen whiskey. I like stolen whiskey the way you make it.
Another time. It's getting late. We must sleep.
Well, okay. Good night. Sleep well.
you want.
I have to join her commando.
But that's impossible. You tell her you didn't want to, that
She took my number. My name is already on her list. It's an order.
the white kerchief commando.
Yes.
What can we do?
What is there to do? It's impossible to do what she wants in any case. To undress the children and throw them into the bonfire. To fold their little clothes into big square piles while they burn. No.
What can you do?
There's always a choice. We've often talked about it together.
But Gina, you argued. You told her.
It's useless, Francois. You know I tried.
I'm going with you.
No, you must stay with her.
What will I tell Denise?
You'll explain. Wait as long as possible.
As long as possible. That will be when she gets up in a little while at the siren and you won't be next to us. I want to talk to you. It seems I have so much more to tell you before we part.
Words are lost to the one who is going to die. Let's just admit that we told each other everything during these days and nights we've spent together. I'll only write on your memory.
Memories are fragile here.
You'll hold out. The worst is over. Remember what I told you for my father.
I remember. I will remember. I'll do everything I can. I give you my word.
It's the darkest part of the night. I'm going.
No, Gina. You still have time before the siren. Give yourself a minute. Give me a minute.
Goodbye, Francois.
Goodbye, Gina. Thank you. Without you, I would not have lasted.
Bring back Denise. It would be a shame not to after having kept her till now. Goodbye.
No, Gina.
The guard saw her from the watchtower.
As soon as she was caught in the spotlight, before she could get to the barbed wire, she was dead before she could die. Goodbye, Gina.
We have come back.
We have come back to tell you, and now we're standing here ill at ease, not knowing what to say or how to say it.
Because we came from a place where words had a different meaning.
Words to say simple things, to be cold, to be tired, to be hungry, to be thirsty, to be afraid, to need sleep, to live, to die.
If you don't understand, it's because we can no longer give those words the meaning they had there.
We wanted to be heard. We wanted to be understood.
Don't think we resent it. We knew you wouldn't understand, that you wouldn't want to even know, that you wouldn't believe, because it has even become unbelievable to us.
Why should you believe those stories of ghosts? Ghosts who came back and who are not able to explain how.
I beg you, do something. Learn a dance step. Something to justify your existence. Something that gives you the right to be in your skin, in your body hair. Learn to walk and to laugh. For it will be too senseless after all. For so many to have died while you live